Warning, this show contains strong language and topics that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised.
I'll get the cards, the charts from my generation. I'll take the come on, let's get it on. I'll get the loss, the money. We're in this together and do it all. They said that nothing's forever, and they refuse to see the change in me. Why won't they wake up?
Welcome to Suplah City. Hello, Suplah City, and welcome to another edition of the Suplah. I am Andy Kwan, and with me is Sam Brooks.
I'm always here, whether you like it or not. And oh man, if something's different, Andy, have you felt the winds of change blow through Suplah City at all?
No.
Maybe it's that shiny new logo at the start of our video.
Yes,
we
we
have
have
on our
a new
website.
logo. It's
Yeah, finally.
great.
About time, right?
I don't know when we changed our logo, like
Today.
for this one. So it's been a while.
It has
It's
been.
nice. It's pretty.
It's pretty
And
good.
with me as always, and like our logo, is Liam Dunn.
Glad you could be here for the start of an episode, Andy. Glad you can actually
Yeah.
be here for once. You know, when I
Yeah,
need
for
you, you're
once.
actually here. Oh, that's
It's a miracle.
surprising. That surprises me that you're actually here at the start of a show. Wow.
An absolute miracle.
Wow. You know how difficult it was to do half an hour with no one. Nobody.
It wasn't my
You're a
fault. My
cunt.
laptop broke.
Sorry. Right. Now that I've got that out of my
Here's my
I
laptop!
don't care. I got that out of my system. You're a cunt. Right. Sorry. Anyway, I took for half an hour. Right.
My laptop broke!
Right.
My laptop broke!
Anyway,
Blame Bill Gates! Don't blame me!
I hope everybody enjoyed Suplah back on Sunday night. Thank you to everyone who joined us. We hit some decent numbers for the Suplah. I was very, very happy, considering that I had to do half an hour by my fucking self.
I told you! My laptop broke!
I can also talk loud.
Thank you to everyone who showed up. It meant a lot, and I hope you enjoyed
My
it.
laptop
We
literally
will, shush, I
went...
don't care anymore. We will be live on May 22nd, same time, 9 till 11. Hopefully Andy will be there at the start of the show. Hopefully. Bits are going now on Paddy Power to say whether he will or won't. Go and put some money down. Let's see if he'll be there. But
I believe the odds are at a solid 250 to 1.
There's more chance of Leicester City winning next season.
So, thank you, and we will be back for Extreme Suplah, May 22nd. Be there, or don't. I can't really make anybody. So, there you go.
You really know how to turn a phrase, Liam. Be there or don't.
Well, I can't force
Well,
it.
no shit, Liam!
You
If
know,
they're
I
not
can't
there,
make
what
you. I'm
else
not
are
your
they
dad,
doing?
you know.
So, anyway, we're here to talk about Payback, which was on Sunday. How did we all find it? I mean, overall, we'll go into the matches one by one, but how did we feel overall, especially with Raw happening, as of this recording, it happened last night. We've got this as like a double venture with Raw. So, we've kind of got the aftermath of Payback a little bit as well. So, how do we feel about the event and where everything's going?
Well, for the first pay-per-view of a new era, the last thing I expected was a finish straight out of the 90s in one of our matches.
Right, I know which one
You
you're
know,
talking about.
just saying. We'll get to that when we get to that, but overall, Payback as a whole, as a pay-per-view, I'm gonna be bold, and I'm gonna say it was better than WrestleMania. But that's just my thoughts.
I didn't think it was that bad. It was like one or two things were bad. This new era thing is clearly not true. Yeah, it was okay. It's better than Mania. Not as good as NXT Dallas, but still good. Yeah. I mean, the Enzo Amore thing kind of made it a
Right,
bit awkward
yeah,
for a
thanks for
while.
going straight into that. We're not ready to segue, but thanks, Andy.
But yeah, That's my overall thoughts. But let's go into it more in depth.
Well, we may as well go into what Andy was just talking about. Of course, Enzo Amore's injury, best way to put it, which had to stop the tag team match at the 4-minute mark. So, kind of going into it, I'm sure by now everyone's heard it, but in case you've been living under a rock and you've missed Raw and you haven't looked at any dirt sheets for, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 days, I don't know why you would be like that at this point in this day and age of wrestling, but we'll go over it anyway because you never know. Enzo Amore suffered an incredibly, really bad, I don't know why I'm laughing, concussion at Payback. Simon Gotch had him and tried to throw him out of the ring, and Enzo kind of, the best way to put it is, Enzo didn't kind of get out of the ring. He hit his head on the second rope, but his body kept going forwards as his head kind of didn't, and then as he went down, his head hit the apron, and then he just kind of dead weighted on the floor because he was knocked out. It's unsure really who to blame here. Enzo didn't do the move correctly. He kind of hit it wrong, but at the same time, the position the two characters were in the ring, they were too close to the ropes to do that move successfully anyway, looking back. They should have been a little bit further. Gotch and Amore should have been further away from those set of ropes in order for that move to have been done more safely.
I mean, you can't blame anyone. It was a freak accident. I mean, these things
accidents happen.
I don't think you can put the blame on anyone for that, because it's just shit happens in any workplace. Just things go wrong. Doesn't matter. I know this is a much more physical workplace, but accidents happen. So,
as is the nature of the botch, it can come at any time, no matter what move you're doing.
But the thing is, I think everyone, it went very serious, very, very quick, and I mean, even when somebody is injured in a WWE ring, they kind of turn it serious. But this was just, I never heard it. I hadn't heard anything like Michael Cole's tone of voice since Jerry Lawler's heart attack live on the air. That's kind of how serious it was, because I think when it happened and you kind of just saw Enzo's neck snap back, I think the first thing that everybody thought was the Mexico incident last summer. I'm really sorry, I don't know the name of the wrestler, but
Perro Aguayo Jr.
Perro Aguayo Jr. He was in a match with Rey Mysterio, and not like Enzo, but he also hit the ropes wrong, and basically, did he break his neck? I think
he died.
Well, yes, but I think he died via a broken neck.
I think it was, yes. Extreme whiplash, which caused a broken neck,
and he pretty much died on the spot. Because when Simon Gotch went out of the ring to pick Enzo up, like I said, he just dead weighted because he was out, and because of knowing what happened in Mexico, we all thought, have we just seen something really, really bad happen here?
Like I thought, well, he's dead. Like that was like
ever the optimist, Andrew Kwan.
I mean, the look on Enzo's face, and it's not there. I was like, oh my god.
It was.
But the thing about it is, as well, is that they kept showing replays of it just over and over and over again.
Yeah, that was bad.
I found that pretty weird. Like,
yeah,
one replay I can understand because you don't know the severity of the injury in the moment of time, but they showed like 4.
Well,
yeah,
the thing is,
some was like slow mo.
I understand that people want to analyze it. I do. I get that. But the thing is we didn't know what had happened, right? It wasn't like somebody just falling wrong on their knee. This is a guy whose neck nearly got broken, and he looked like he looked like he was dead, right? I know he's not, obviously, but it looked like he had just died. And I think that was in really poor taste, or a really bad decision to go, oh, let's replay it. Replay it on Raw when you know the guy's alive and fine, right? You should have cut to a break. Run an advert for the network. Run an advert for Total Divas, Legends House. I don't know, Tough Enough. It's not even there anymore. Just something. Do something else. You should have cut away. because we don't know what's happening. Yes, Enzo's fine. It was just a severe concussion. Thank God. That's the best case scenario in this incident. But
Yeah.
to show it 4 times in a row in slow motion when we don't even know if the guy's alive. Look at Owen Hart. I know it's not a very similar thing, but that was a neck injury, wasn't it? I mean,
But they didn't show replays over and over and over and over him falling, did they?
I know, but that's what I mean. Like, you think they'd have learned their lesson. Like, just don't. Why? You don't know what that guy's conditioning. He's dead weighting. Yes, he could be knocked out, but it could have been a lot worse because it involved his head and neck.
Yeah, anything with your neck could either be paralysis or death. Like, stop showing replays, for fuck's sake.
Then, now, forever.
Replays.
Although, the only positives to come out of this is that Enzo's fine, obviously.
He's fine.
Well, apparently,
Kevin Owens'
yes.
selfie is one of the greatest things I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah. For those who don't know, Kevin Owens went to the hospital to check on Enzo Amore. Colin Cassidy was there in a suit.
Picture.
Yep, there it is. I forgot we had a video podcast now.
And not only that, there's a picture going around of Enzo. I don't know why he's outside in a hospital gown, but he is. And he's just like, he looks like he's about to do, and you can't teach that. And I'm just like, how is he fucking still alive?
This man.
Well, because he's a certified G and a bona fide stud, and you can't teach that. He says it
That
every
is
week,
true.
Andy.
Okay, that's fair enough then.
But that did beg
Science.
the question, what happened to the number 1 contendership status for the New Day's Tag Team Championship?
Well, I can tell
We
you
have
what.
since found out
Oh, right, okay, go on then.
they will be facing the Vaudevillains at Extreme Rules.
Well, here's the thing. It's been revealed what the original plans at Payback was going to be. The Vaudevillains were going to come out on top in that match. If everything had gone to plan, they were going to come out on top via a screw job interference kind of thing through, with the Dudley Boys. The Dudley Boys were going to cost Enzo and Cass the match, so they were going to enter a program with the Dudleys, whilst the New Day go on to face the Vaudevillains, which I said on the Payback show, the Suplah show, that I would prefer that. Even though I like Enzo and I like Cass, Vaudevillains provide a better dynamic from an actual like characterization perspective. They put on a better match with the New Day at this point, I think.
I have to agree, definitely. And whilst the New Day can act as heels, their faces now, they're white hot, keep them that way, put them with a good heelish tag team, which, aside from the Dudleys, who they've already worked with the New Day, you don't really have. The Vaudevillains is a blessing in disguise when you think about it.
Plus,
Not to mention they're much better.
Well, they are the complete polar opposites, and that makes a more interesting match to me.
They are.
It's
And not to mention the fact that they're much better than they were in NXT.
Yes.
But it's often the case, whenever you have an NXT call-up, sometimes on the main roster, they're not that great for some reason.
Apollo
Vaudevillains.
Crews! Apollo
Oh,
Crews!
whoa. Bro Dallas. But, you know, for some reason...
Neville!
The Vaudevillains are performing above and beyond the Call of Duty at this point.
Ryback is basically having some pretty bad negotiations going on with the WWE. According to PW Insider, Dave Meltzer, our favourite Dave, our only Dave, apparently. I don't know. He's a Dave. He's a Dave Meltzer. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just going to roll with it. Dave Meltzer reports that Ryback met with Vince McMahon last night, apparently before Raw started, to discuss his contract. And apparently, Ryback says that the offer that WWE gave him for the next potential couple of years was nowhere near the money that he wanted. So, after a lot of negotiations and slightly heated debates, Ryback said that he's going to go home, and Vince McMahon said that he thinks that's a good idea.
Here's what I think about this, okay? Say Ryback is done with the WWE, okay?
Mm-hmm.
He's not exactly going to fit in anywhere else. Think about it. He goes to TNA, he gets even less money. I'm pretty sure they would take money from him and never pay him at this point.
Yeah.
But the way TNA's going, right? Ring of Honor, you already have people like Moose there. New Japan, you already have Michael Elgin there. Anywhere Ryback goes, he's just not going to fit in.
Well, here's my thing.
It's like
Here's my
he's
thing.
a purely manufactured WWE creation. Like, he just would not work anywhere else, and he wouldn't fit in. So say if he does, like, quit the WWE, well, tough luck, buddy.
Right, here's my thing. This is my thing, right? I don't understand where Ryback has got this idea that he is a major star, a big player, and basically a main event draw. Ryback has had shots in the main event, and each time he's done it, he's never stood out. He's not a great talker. He's just not memorable, like, in terms of microphone work. They pushed him very hard when he debuted, I think, in 2012. And he got over kind of as a monster. And then they gave him, like, the microphone, and he just was not very good. And for some reason, ever since he had that program in 2013 against John Cena with the title on the line, I think he thinks he's a bigger deal than he actually is. I don't like Ryback. I've never rated him as a wrestler or a character. I don't know where he's got this idea that he deserves... I mean, obviously the numbers hasn't come out, but the guy, frankly, I think he's only got on the pre-shows of the pay-per-views that he's been on simply because of his physique and the fact that, as Sam said, he's manufactured by the WWE. If he wasn't that big, I don't know if he'll be taken as seriously. Like, the fact that he's even on pre-shows, I think that's a good deal for him. Whereas you've got someone like Zack Ryder, who is arguably more over with the crowd, more interesting in the ring, and yet he lost his title the next day.
The thing is, as well, is that had Ryback's contract run out at the time you've seen with Cena, I could probably see where he's coming from.
Yeah.
But he is really shit. And I love how he was like, after the CM Punk thing happened and Punk had a go about him being the most unsafe person on the planet, I love how he's like, fuck this, I'm leaving. Oh, the irony. The
Not only
irony
that,
of it.
when he came out to the Chicago crowd, he did CM Punk taunts.
Did he? I didn't notice that.
Yeah. No, he did do that. And during the match, probably one of his best matches I've ever seen of Ryback, there was a particular spot where Flippy Man Kalisto was going to do one of his suicidal dives off the top rope. Could have ended really badly were it not for Ryback catching him and saving him from potentially
I did see that,
injuring
yes.
himself.
I did see that, yes.
So, not only is Ryback now doing CM Punk's taunts, he's also a good worker. Where has this been for years, Ryback? Where has this been?
I'm sorry, I think it's just a fluke. I think everyone can have a good match and a bad match. I think we just got him on a good match. And he went out on a good match, I guess. But Ryback is not worthy, in my opinion, to be negotiating for a lot more money than what he was being given. The fact that he's even got the position he's got is worth something when you've got such good wrestlers out there who aren't. Like, look at Damien Sandow. He's a guy who is being wasted, but you know what? He's clearly just quite happy being there. And yet you've got someone like Ryback who isn't as good, who isn't as over, is lucky to even get on the pre-shows, and is seeming to think that he's a bigger deal than he actually is. The guy has won the Intercontinental Championship. Once? Twice? Once! Barely even memorable then.
He's held, I believe, one championship throughout his entire main roster run, and that would be the goddamn Intercontinental Championship.
And he's trying to get more... No. The guy should be happy with whatever he's being given at this point, frankly. He's complaining. The thing is, he even goes on these media tours, right? They went to Dubai, and he complained that he wasn't on the main card of WrestleMania. It's because you're fucking Ryback. Like,
What?
Of course you're not going to be on it.
It's not just that. It's because you're just irrelevant. Like, I don't... You should be happy you're not fired at this point.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Just stop. Just go do what you do with your shoulder and eat things.
No, it's okay though, because he's the big guy! It's feeding time! Wake up! It's fine.
Maybe he wanted to eat the contract as well.
Maybe
But Vince was like,
the
"No,
thing is they're
you
not
can't do
providing
that."
him with enough food, and that's why he's wanting to be fed more, like he says
That's
often.
what it is.
Yeah, he needs more food.
He just wanted to eat the contract, and Vince was like, "No, you can't do that. That's a legally binding document. Feed me!" No, you can't. No, Ryback, we can't. Ryan, you can't eat the contract. I want the contract. You can't do that. Well, that joke was shit. Let's move on.
Why God Ryback? Moving on. Kevin Owens vs Sami Zayn. Match of the night.
Match of the night.
Yes.
Match of the night. I loved it. Even though I've always said you shouldn't blow this rivalry so early into their main roster tenure. God damn, they did it. They did it good. They did it well.
And I'll
Very good
tell
match.
you what as well, right? Considering what had just happened the match before, I mean, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn both, even then, looked a little shook up after it all. And yet they went out and knocked it out of the park, considering what had just happened. To get an audience who think that they've possibly just witnessed a man die to get back into a match, that shows a kind of talent. And again, going back to Ryback, it's kind of all syncing together here. You look at someone like Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, who are far more over, far better in the ring. They deserve higher spots. They deserve more money than what Ryback ever gets, frankly. In my personal opinion.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to turn it back onto Ryback, because we were moving on. But, like, Sami Zayn deserves everything the man is being given at this point. And I hope he continues to flourish and go further in the WWE. Ryback is just not even worth my time on... like, I barely even watched the pre-show because it was Ryback, frankly.
I mean, the fact he was even on the pre-show is a miracle. But
And also,
Sami
they've
Zayn,
been feeding Kalisto. Well, sorry, I meant the other way around. They've been feeding him to Kalisto. I mean, they
maybe
can't...
Kalisto's the one who's hungry.
So, they can't... He can't exactly think that he's a big draw if he's putting over a man twice the... half the height?
Half,
That's it.
Liam. Half is the word you were looking for there,
That's the
Liam.
word.
Not twice. Half.
Wow! Just wow! That's
Andy
all I
may
have
not
to say
have a
about
good
that.
grip on the English language. Liam has no grip on the mathematical language.
Half...
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Anyway,
anyways,
yeah. Kevin
this
Owens
match was
defeated
great.
Sami Zayn clean victory. And the weird thing is, after the match, you would think, hey, Kevin Owens, you just beat your longtime rival clean in your first pay-per-view match. What are you going to do next? You're going to go after the world title? You're going to enter Money in the Bank? You're going to do anything other than what you've previously done? Yeah, no, he's going back for the Intercontinental Championship. That's cool. Okay,
Yes,
before
but
anyone says anything,
so is
right?
Sami Zayn, to be fair.
Here's the thing about this, okay? The Intercontinental Championship is a serial prize at this point. If Kevin Owens, this clear main eventer, goes on to recapture this Intercontinental Championship, and they book him well with it, which I know is asking a lot apparently, but if they do that, you could make it good again. Make the Intercontinental great again. That's what it should be.
Alright, Donald.
Not
right.
not in the way of Donald. Not in the way of Donald, in the way of Kevin.
Should we build a wall around the belt?
Yeah, build a wall.
And then charge
Build
it...
a wall around
no,
the belt
and then
to
charge it to
fend
the
off
US
anyone
title.
like Zack Ryder.
And then charge it to the US champion.
Yes,
That's
the US
what it is.
champion is going to help build this wall around this belt.
He's not going to help. The US champion is going to pay for the wall around the Intercontinental title.
Yeah, don't know where this analogy's going, but
Yeah, I was going to say something about Alberto Del Rio, but you know what? I was like, no.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was dark for
racist.
you.
That... He wants to build a fucking wall to stop the Mexican people getting in. He's a twat.
Andy on
Don't
politics.
blame me.
And-
Blame the blonde wig dickhead.
Andy on politics.
Don't blame me.
I would love it if Andy was like a political correspondent. Basically, Simon, he said that he wants to build a wall around America and he's just a twat. Right? He's just a blonde-haired, two-paid wanker. Fuck him.
Yeah.
Thank you, Andrew. Back to you in
And
the
I've been Andrew
studio.
Pond for BBC News. Well, that was Andrew Pond's report there on some toupee wanker. Like, That's what I would do.
That's what I'd do. There you go. Andy, the political correspondent for the BBC.
Beautiful imagery.
Exactly.
The Miz defeated Cesaro to retain his Intercontinental Championship.
I called
It
it.
will now be a fatal four-way between The Miz, Cesaro, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
Okay, good match. Good match, gonna be good. It's fine.
Where's Zack Ryder's rematch?
He
Who
had it on
cares?
SmackDown!
I don't care. He deserves an actual chance with the belt.
He
Well,
doesn't.
he sucks. It's fine. I've never liked Zack Ryder. I never will. I don't care about him.
Why?
Controversial opinion. Oh, he's just overrated. He's not that good in the ring. He's a bit boring. I just don't see anything in him.
No,
Feed me more.
Self-admittedly, he's really bad on the microphone.
Yeah. I've never
he's
seen him
just
cut
got
a good promo.
But he's just got that, the little train that could.
No.
Oh, sympathy.
Yes!
He has sympathy. Oh, that's why I
Yes.
don't give a shit.
You know,
That's why I don't care.
you are just dead inside, sir.
Yeah, I am.
That's not a good trait to have.
No, it cuts
Kevin
out.
Owens
It cuts out a lot of the trouble in that I don't have to care about Zack Ryder because he's never going to be used properly ever again.
No. Kevin Owens was on commentary for this match.
It was. It was amazing. Him and Byron are my favorite commentary team. Just him and Byron, two-man team. Byron tries to do his job. Kevin Owens doesn't let him. It's my favorite.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Moving on to the next match, which I didn't like. Dean Ambrose defeated Chris Jericho.
I thought
After-
this match was fine.
It was 20 minutes long. Alright? It was the second longest match of the night. I felt like it dragged, and it didn't really pick up until the last maybe 5 minutes. And even then, the finish was kind of weird. The
What
way it
is
ended
it?
was...
Sorry, but what is it with Dean Ambrose, probably one of the best wrestlers that they've got at the moment, and him just not being used right? This is the second pay-per-view match he's had where his match has been lackluster.
At least he won this one, though.
Yeah, at least he
did
did.
win.
But, regardless, you can win a match, but it can be lackluster, or you can lose a match and have a good one.
No, I'd rather he just win this.
Yeah. I would take a win of a match than a loss in any other kind of match. 'cause a
No, I
win is a win.
disagree. I disagree. A loss in a very good match makes both competitors come out stronger.
No.
Whereas,
Ambrose
no,
needed a
hang
win
on.
here.
In that case, then surely the people on Superstars and main event should be, considered one of the top guys. Because, the what are they called? Heath Slater's group. What are they again?
The social outcasts.
Surely they should be the main eventers of Superstars then, because they're winning on Superstars, then they're always there.
The point was, Ambrose needed a win. A proper, decisive, fucking win.
Yeah.
No,
did.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but I think it'd be fine for him to lose if they put on a better match.
Thing is, he's lost so many of his pay-per-view
Yeah.
matches already.
Actually, he
doesn't
hasn't
win
lost as
one-
many as everyone thinks.
Yes, he has.
His last win was at the Royal Rumble.
Okay.
Yeah, but then
For
before
the-
that,
for
he
the-
lost
for the
when
year
was
of
Sin
2015,
When was Sin Cara's?
For the year of 2015, he lost 9 of them.
Exactly.
Talk about
Fuckface.
Fuck off, you little twat.
Women's match. Charlotte versus Natalya. Old man in each corner. Who will win? Oh, it was a screwjob finish. They copied
But
the
what?
Montreal screwjob.
What reason? For what reason? What
So-
purpose did it serve?
This is what I alluded to earlier, okay? Basically, this match, this women's match, Charlotte versus Natalya, two very good women's workers. It was a decent match. The crowd shat all over it, but it was a good match. It
didn't
ended
get that vibe from the
with
crowd.
Charlotte putting Natalya in the sharpshooter. Charles Robinson, Lil Nate, the referee, calls for the bell. Natalya didn't tap. Charlotte retains. I'm pretty sure that's not how it works, guys. Pretty sure that's not how the sport works. You can't just
Assistant.
pay the referee and just do that as part of a storyline. How many times have they
Also-
tried to recreate this Montreal screwjob.
Hang on.
Almost 20 years after it happened?
Hang
Longer
on.
than that? It's infuriating. The way this match ended was an insult. They want to build up this women's division, not the Divas division, this women's division, by censoring it around Ric Flair and the whole Montreal screwjob finish to this match. It was a slap in the face. It made me legitimately angry, and I can't stand the fact that this had to happen this way. You couldn't have been just a little bit more creative. You couldn't have just thought, maybe she could win via a dirty roll-up, like all of those other matches over the past 10 years. No, you had to copy the Montreal screwjob for no reason in the supposed new era of WWE. Fuck you guys. This was insulting.
So, let me get this straight. So, Little Nate was bribed by Real Nate to screw Natalya out of the match.
Yeah.
Right. I have a problem with this, because, really, wouldn't he be, I don't know, fired for taking the bribe?
Yeah. Yep.
Why is he still working there? I understand it's a storyline, I get that, but it's when your storyline doesn't make sense, that's when I start getting angry. You can tell me that the sky is red as long as you give a decent and reasonable explanation as to why it's red. I will believe that. When you tell me that a referee's taken a bribe and hasn't had any punishment for that, like, I don't know, anybody would, that's when I call bullshit on an incident.
Because the issue with it is, as well, is during the original Screwjob, it was Vince McMahon that ordered the bell to be rung. He runs the fucking company.
He runs
so
the
there
company.
are no repercussions, right?
No.
There's this Ric Flair.
You're so flabbergasted you can't speak, right? I'll try and
It's
finish your
served no
sentence.
purpose. What was
This is Ric Flair, the man constantly in troubles with the police for being drunk everywhere or just being crazy everywhere. This is the guy that supposedly has the authority to screw Natalya out of the match because he was able to bribe the referee. It's not like it's Scott Armstrong. It's not like it's the authority, this fictional stable which we're meant to believe has power over Raw and everything. It's Ric Flair, the supporting character of the women's feud since February. Are we really meant to believe that? I can't. I just can't. And it didn't even help the fact that Bret Hart and Natalya put them both in sharpshooters, right? What kind of consolation is that? That's not even a good
not.
consolation. It's
Also,
like, oh, hey,
why-
Timmy, your family's dead. It's alright. Here's a picture of them.
I don't even say, Timmy, your parents are dead, but it's alright. There's Bret Hart putting someone in a sharpshooter.
Yeah, it's
There
fine.
you go.
Also, so you flew out Bret Hart, who was recovering from prostate cancer, for that? For that?
Can I just say, I'm genuinely shocked that Bret agreed to do it.
Yeah.
Like, who had the nerve? I feel sorry for the stagehand who had to try and tell him that. Like, Mr. Hart, yes. Hello, I'm Derek. Hi, I'm Barry's younger brother. Oh yes, I know Barry. He's a knob. Yes, he is.
Come on, Barry.
So basically, I've just come from the writers' room, and the
What time was in?
yes, shush, Barry. I'm talking to Bret. Mr. Hart.
I
sorry,
want
Mr.
to play
Hart.
high to Bret the Hitman Sharp.
Shh! What's going on here, damn it?
Vince,
I'll go
listen,
back to my
everyone,
room.
I'm trying to talk to Mr. Hart here. I'm trying to talk to Mr. Hart.
Have some fun!
Right, Mr. Hart. So I just want to talk to you. The writers have decided on the ending for the match, right?
I'm one of the writers.
Shush.
Shut up, damn it!
Right. Basically, we want a Montreal Screwjob ending.
I think it's a good idea.
That's a great
Good
idea.
on the network.
What do you think, Mr. Hart? The fact that he hung around after that worries me.
Yeah, well, I love how they're like, he's a survivor, he's recovering from prostate cancer. What a lovely thing that was. Oh, by the way, we're going to refer to the thing that you got angry about, that you hated us for so long, that you never
Not just
really got
refer
over.
to, recreate. Recreate the incident right in front of
Yeah.
you. For no reason.
The dude's just
You know
had
what?
cancer.
Vince
Will you
McMahon.
please
Vince
stop
McMahon
acting like
would
cunts?
is the kind of person who would think that putting someone who went to Afghanistan through a war recreation program, like, you know, that would be a good idea. That's the kind of person he is. So, Brett, you're still traumatised to this day over what happened nearly 20 years ago. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. In order to help get over it, reenact it. With your niece.
Flawless.
Right the fuck now.
Flawless plan. Hated it.
Right logic.
Hated everything about it. Don't enjoy it. Going insane with this women's division.
And this was one month.
Next match!
This is 1 month after, like, the women have knocked down walls and broken through roofs and ceilings and glass because they're Stone Cold Steve Austin. Thanks, Lita. Yep, great. And we're going to give the very first women's championship belt, despite the fact I've won it 5 times. This is apparently the first time we've ever had one. And, yeah, vaginas. Okay, great, Lisa. Thanks for that. Nice speech. And
I don't think she went, yay, vaginas.
and then
That's not,
That's Fabi if Andy wrote the speech.
no,
then
no.
1 month after that, we have this awful ending. This terrible ending.
Hated it. Still though, we can't exactly move on to the main event
Hang on,
yet.
Can I just say, there is an interesting statistic with that Natalya-Charlotte match.
What is it?
Right.
They are the only 2 women at this point in time to have faced each other for both, well, not for both, for the NXT Women's Championship, the Divas Championship, and the WWE Women's Championship.
Whoa, it's crazy. That'll
That's
never happen again in a million years.
That was a statistic for you there.
Sasha
There you go.
Banks.
Oh,
She's not that great.
She's not that good. Anyway, before we can move on to the main event, we have to talk about the horrifically drawn-out segment where it was decided who would run Raw. Spoilers! It's both Shane and Stephanie. Why? Why both?
Okay, I have a problem.
Why
with
not
this
just
Chicago
one?
crowd. This Chicago crowd are the fucking worst. Stop chanting CM Punk! He's never coming back. He's in UFC. Stop being a bunch of rems. Also, if you hate Vince so much, why the fuck were you singing his theme song? Stop giving the man an ovation. Tell him to go fuck himself. Don't sing his theme song and chant CM Punk at him. Cause it... What the fuck? Idiots. A lot of them.
Yeah, it was a bit weird, but they did that. I think in their minds, I'm not saying that it's okay for them to do this, but in their minds, they like the theme song, not him, which is nonsense.
Yeah, but Vince
And
is
in
a
their
fucking
minds,
idiot. He
if you
doesn't
chant,
understand
I
that.
know, Andy, but in their minds, if you chant CM Punk at him, it'll annoy him, which it very clearly did. So whatever. I don't even care about the Chicago crowd at this point. What I care about is the fact that, they couldn't just decide on one. They had to pick both. Why? Why couldn't you just pick Shane? Well, I would be fine if you picked Shane. I would hate it, but I would understand if you picked Stephanie. I cannot understand why both. Unless this is all part of a greater plan, of a greater booking plan, leading to a Team Shane versus Team Stephanie at Survivor Series. That might be it. We might have just cracked the Da Vinci Code. But if that's not what it is, and it's just a case of, we're making this up as we go along, swerve, it's both.
It's that. They're just
You know-
making this shit up as they go along.
Shane's Raws were okay. They lacked some things, but the things that they did have were very, very good. Stephanie's Raws, we've had them for 3 years, 2 years, a long time, too long of a time. So I get
27
why,
years.
more that, I get why you had to have like a change in the storyline so that it couldn't just be Stephanie, but at the same time, why both?
Yeah, why both? I mean, you could have just said the first hour and a half is Shane, but they're like both at the same time. What the fuck?
I like how
And the way
everyone has
Vince-
forgotten about SmackDown. Yeah,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
if you're in charge of Raw, you're just by default also in charge of SmackDown. Like, you can't just have one person in charge of Raw, one person in charge of SmackDown. You have to be in charge of Raw and fuck SmackDown.
And
No one cares.
that's
And the thing
why
is-
that whole rumoured brand split didn't make sense, because SmackDown's not the show that it used to be. So why would
Here's-
they have a brand split?
Here's the thing about SmackDown, right? It's a paradox
Yeah.
show at this point, because people always complain nothing important ever happens on SmackDown, and yet when anyone debuts or something important happens on SmackDown, everyone complains. Can't win.
But no,
Can't
if they
win with it.
treat it like an actual show, like, you know, have Roman defend the belt, like, have Roman on the show more often.
I get that, and like, I'm sure in their minds there's a reason why they don't. Maybe it's the fact that Raw is live and viewed by more people and SmackDown is not. That's a dumb reason. That's probably the reason why they think it shouldn't be held to the same regard as Raw. But even then, you've been rumoured about taking SmackDown live for years. Why not just do a live SmackDown?
Well, that's just...
You've done it before.
The thing is SmackDown's always been pre-taped, even when it was in the brand split, and they still treated it with respect and made the show feel like it was important.
Exactly.
Even in the
so,
Attitude Era.
so the live thing isn't even a problem at this
No,
point. It's just a
WWE
pure refusal.
Yeah, WWE has created this, not the fans. WWE has basically created the idea that SmackDown doesn't matter. The fans have followed suit, because why? It's like trying to argue that main event is important. It's pointless, because if WWE don't see it as an important show, then why should the fans see it as an important show? In order to turn that around, you have to say, okay, we're now going to have a steel cage match with AJ Styles and Roman Reigns with the title on the line. That would make
cool.
people tune in. That's how you get
Yeah.
people to take SmackDown seriously again. Put actual matches that people want to see on. Not when you have a tour and half of your roster has to go to Europe and the other has to stay behind because they've got to do SmackDown, and you have all the champions go on the tour for the house shows, by the way, and yet the ones that's actually being shown on television, I'm surprised they even had AJ Styles on those sort of shows.
And the problem as well, with the actual announcement that Vince made, was that the crowd were too busy chanting CM Punk, and Vince kind of just went, I think he just went a bit mental. He was just like, I want to see blood. What? I want to see people slit their throats. Like,
Yeah. He wants to
What
see
the
his children literally murder each other.
yeah, like,
In front of
even
him.
Shane's face was like, the fuck?
Oh,
Like, I
Dad.
think he just had a
Smell.
lapse of...
You know what? I bet
don't know.
he was thinking he was recording lines for Camp WWE.
Mm.
I think he was having
Probably it,
a
to be honest.
flashback for that.
Maybe.
And he just kind of, it's just a bit weird. And it's like, I want to see blood. I was hoping he'd be like, fuck PG, it's over. And you're like, the fuck you say? But no, he's just like, you
Many
work
would
together.
truly have gone see that.
They will never get
But
rid
either
of
way.
PG. Yeah, fans,
No.
honestly, WWE fans need to stop trying to wait for the time that they go, oh, we're not going to do PG anymore. They're not going to ever. That's like saying, oh, I hope Disney stops being PG. Oh, I hope they start introducing strip clubs at the Magic Kingdom. I'd love to see Minnie Mouse on a stripper pole. Yeah, that ain't going to happen, guys.
Yeah, remember the Attitude Era of the Disney company?
Technically, that was the 90s when they had those really successful movies.
Remember Stone
There's a lot
Cold
of
Mickey Mouse?
That would be the best thing ever. Don't even joke, man. You know that would be awesome. That'd be amazing.
Give me a hell yeah!
Oh, yes. Someone needs to animate that now.
Do it. But yeah, might as well talk about the main event now, because I feel like we have a lot to get off our chests here. Everyone knew Roman Reigns would retain the championship over AJ Styles. The question was how. How indeed? Well, AJ first won the match by countout. Shane came out and was like, nah, restart that. And then Roman, I think, either punched or kicked AJ Styles in the dick. And so AJ got the disqualification win. Stephanie came out and was like, nah, start it again. Pinfall and submissions only. And Reigns speared
No, wait,
AJ
Steph
Styles.
made it no DQ.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh.
Roman Reigns took so many phenomenal forearms and so many of AJ Styles' big moves. One spear put away AJ Styles. If it were not for that fact, if Reigns had just Superman punched Styles a couple of times and then speared him, that would have been fine. But it's the Super Cena thing of one finisher and that's it. Now, there's more to it than that, of course, right? Gallows and Anderson were there, the Usos were there, AJ's having his own little personal conflict with the Good Brothers, and so it's like, okay, there's probably a reason as to why it only took one spear to put away AJ Styles, but at the same time, you could have just punched him a bit more, Roman.
Yeah,
Could have just cuffed your fist a bit more and just wailed on him a little bit more. But, you know, everyone knew this was going to happen. I was prepared for it, but the match itself, I liked it. Aside from the one spear finish, I liked the match.
Here's the thing. Right? Here's the thing. Why tease that Roman Reigns is going to turn heel?
Yeah,
At Payback.
That's the thing I
Now,
have
hang
problem
on.
with.
They tease him that he's turning heel at Payback by getting an intentional disqualification by kicking a guy or punching a guy in the nuts. Something you just don't do at all. You don't do that, right? And then the next night, they tease that AJ's turning heel by rejoining the Breakfast Club.
They don't know what they're doing.
They don't know what
to
they're
do.
doing. They don't know who they're going to turn. And genuinely, if they don't turn Roman, it's going to be a wasted opportunity. You've got a chance. The hottest babyface in the company against, without a doubt, the hottest heel, whether he wants to be or not. And the fact that
Yes.
you're not letting him embrace that,
I thought that's what was happening when he punched him in the dick.
that's what I thought.
like,
and then they change it
he's
on
turned!
Yeah, and then they change it on Raw. Because now it's AJ who's teasing a heel turn.
Oh, this 50-50
Well, no.
booking is just
Here's
fucking
some clear up.
stupid.
Here's some clear up on this, okay? The dick punch was accidental, right? It wasn't just Roman Reigns being like, "Hey AJ, boom, punch you in the penis." That's not what
should
happened.
have been, though.
It's what it is. What it should have been, but that's not what it was. What it was an accidental thing
How do you
that just
accidentally
happened.
punch someone in the nuts?
Oh, I don't know. Roman Reigns found a way. Damn it, he will accidentally punch you in the nuts,
Sorry, AJ,
right?
I thought your nads looked like your face.
Easy mistake to make, but either way.
That should be the other way round, shouldn't it? Because Roman Reigns is a dickhead.
Second thing about this, Reigns, I don't get the impression where you guys think he's face. He's really not.
Who?
He acts like
Reigns?
he's Roman Reigns is not
Yeah,
a
no,
face.
no, I'm not saying that he is. I said the hottest babyface was AJ Styles against probably the hottest heel, which is Roman Reigns. Whether the WWE wants
Reigns
to
is
admit
heel
it
now.
or not.
Reigns is heel.
When he punched him in the dick, and Steffi came out and restarted the match, Reigns looked quite pissed off that the match is he's like, I've got to fucking continue this shit. No wonder I thought that was a turn, and then it's just like, LOL, I'm still a face, even though I'm not because everyone's booing me.
No,
It's not the fact
hang
that
on.
everyone boos him. It's
There's
the
a
fact that
difference.
Roman Reigns acts like a penis throughout his entire championship run so far. He's been a dick. Like, he's just not been a good guy by any stretch of the imagination. Nothing he's done has screamed face. I don't know where everyone's getting this idea from.
There's a difference between how the audience is reacting to a person as opposed to the way that they're being written. By the way Roman's being written, he's meant to be a babyface. But the audience do not like him. Hence why he is a heel. Do you understand what I'm saying? He's being written as a
No,
babyface.
because he hasn't been booked like a face.
He hasn't been written
At
like a
all.
face. I don't get where that idea is coming from.
Saying I'm not a good guy, I'm not a bad guy, I'm the guy is not a face thing to say.
And the fact that he acts dismissive towards all of his potential number one contenders as well, including AJ Styles, this world-renowned professional. Like, nothing about Roman Reigns screams face to me at this point, other than the fact that the commentators say, "No, guys, he's a face." Yeah, believe that.
No, that's what I
No,
mean.
I don't
though.
believe
that. The story is that he's meant to be a face, but he's not. That's what I agree with you guys, but I'm saying that they're writing him as a face.
The worst face in the world.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying that
See
it's.
why I have a problem with this
I'm not
guy?
saying it's making sense. I'm not defending them. I'm just saying that's the way he's being written.
Fucking stupid.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. But, yeah, that was Payback. It was better than Mania.
Although I
I had
gotta
more
say,
problems with Mania.
I think out of both shows, the coolest moment, without a doubt, was on Raw when you saw AJ Styles, Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson come out to the ring together to AJ's music.
Surreal.
And who would have
Surreal as hell.
Who would have thought the first Raw of this year, which I think was on the 4th of January, right? Who would have thought that 4 months later, AJ Styles, Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson main eventing Raw?
Bearing in mind, on that Raw, the 4th of January, it was Wrestle Kingdom 10. All of those men were on that card, in a different promotion.
Oh, maybe it
No,
wasn't
4 months
January
later.
4th then.
No, it was.
Oh, it was,
But
yeah,
either way-
it was January 4th then, yeah.
Yeah, Wrestle Kingdom 10 was on January 4th, I believe, or the day before. But
No, I've checked, yes, it was a Monday, January 4th.
yeah, so, first Raw of the year, everyone would have said, "Ha, you're crazy. They're in New Japan. They're never leaving." Oh shit, they left.
Not just that,
Oh.
4 months later, they main evented Raw.
They did. They did. AJ Styles main evented Payback. That's crazy. I never would have believed you.
No.
And that is one of the main reasons why I'm a wrestling fan, because that is just insane to think.
Hashtag surreal.
Regardless of what's been going on with Roman, there are things that still remind me why I'm a wrestling fan, and it's things like that, ultimately.
Absolutely.
And Sami
Absolutely.
Zayn and Kevin Owens.
And that. Oh, and
Multiple things.
and also Nakamura as well. That match at Dallas. I know that was a month ago, but I don't think anyone can stop talking about it, really.
It was really fucking good. It's my match of the year so far. But
I think my rest of the year so far has got to be Sami Zayn.
either way, we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves for the end of year awards. Extreme Rules is coming up.
Hang on, I think we've already crowned the worst match of the year.
Have we really?
Yes, I think it was EC3 versus Matt Hardy where they did the double turn.
Oh,
No, have you seen in Botchamania where it was like Shelly Martinez versus New Diva?
Diva.
Their knockouts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was a pre-taped pay-per-view, and they left all the
Yeah,
boxes
Shelly Martinez is going to do this like the suicide dive through the ropes and just gets caught, and then Rebel, I think her name is,
Yeah.
just pins her and wins the match.
That's
Yeah, that's
TNA. Anyway,
Fucking brilliant.
Speaking of
Regardless.
Extreme Rules, we have a couple of matches already here. I'm going to run through them really quickly so we can finish off. Charlotte versus Natalya in a submissions match for the WWE Women's Championship. Ric Flair is banned from ringside. Good. The New Day versus the Vaudevillains in a tag match for the Tag Team Championship. Good. And main event, Roman Reigns versus AJ Styles in an Extreme Rules match. Not a steel cage, an Extreme Rules match for the WWE Whatever Championship.
yes, it was rumoured. We reported it on the Suplah. It was rumoured that it was going to be a steel cage match. And after the interference in Payback, I was like, oh, well, it's definitely going to be a steel cage match. This is why. Because just everyone keeps running in. No, it's going to be an Extreme Rules match. So they're going to allow run-ins. So who knows? Maybe the Usos are going to be there. And Anderson and Gallows are going to be there. Who knows? So we were wrong. Things happen. You know, they change their minds every now and then.
Yeah, things happen, but
They make stuff up as they go along.
And that, yes.
They do. Like us, really, when you think about it.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that brings an end to the show. What did the audience at home think about Payback and the Raw following? Did you enjoy it? You looking forward to Extreme Rules? How about you let us know in the comments below? We'll have a chat next week about it. You can also go to WrestlePundit.com for all the latest news and rumours in wrestling. We're on iTunes. Episodes are back up again. Hallelujah. Search our name and you'll find us. You can also like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram. And if you missed any of that, it's going to be down there in the description for you. Boom. Didn't even need my script for that. I've learned
Pow!
Learned
That's
it.
what,
how we do
Sam,
things.
that's why we have you come on the show, because we can't do that. We only have you here just to do that last bit. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I like
I'm just here to do the plugs. Like I'm
Yeah.
I'm Doctor Plug over here. This is all I'm here for.
That's about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I do the outro, so I have been Andy Quad.
I've been Sam Brooks.
And I am still, to this day, and always will be, Liam Dunn.
Unless you
Unfortunately.
change your name.
Well, I won't.
Goodbye, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Bleh.